For years I heard the same promise over and over again. If you want to leave Windows but keep the comfort, just install a Windows-like Linux distro. They all claim it. Familiar layout. Familiar workflow. Minimal learning curve. You won't even notice the difference, they say. As someone who has spent most of their life on Windows, from Windows 7 to Windows 10 and then reluctantly to Windows 11, I wanted to believe that. I was tired of forced updates, background telemetry, random UI redesigns, and the creeping sense that my computer wasn't really mine anymore. So I decided to run an experiment. I tried every major Linux distribution that markets itself as Windows-like. Not just for a day, not just in a virtual machine. I installed them on real hardware, used them for real work, edited videos, wrote scripts, managed files, installed apps, played games, broke things, fixed things. And in the end, only one truly replaced Windows for me. The first thing I realized is that Windows-like means very different things depending on who you ask. For some distros, it means a taskbar at the bottom and a start menu style launcher. For others, it means copying the exact look of Windows 10 or 11 down to the icons and system tray layout. But what I was looking for wasn't just visual familiarity. I needed workflow familiarity. I needed predictable behavior. I needed stability. I needed software availability. And most importantly, I needed the system to stay out of my way. I started with the obvious choice, Linux Mint. It's probably the most recommended distro for Windows switchers. The Cinnamon desktop has a traditional layout, Start button in the bottom left, case bar across the bottom, system tray on the right. The file manager feels familiar. Right-click, context menus make sense. Settings are centralized and logical. The update manager doesn't feel threatening or cryptic. Within an hour, I was navigating comfortably. Within a day, I was impressed. It felt stable, smooth, polished. But as the days went on, I started noticing small friction points. Some Windows applications I relied on didn't have native Linux versions. I experimented with alternatives. Some were better. Some were compromises. Wine worked for a few apps, but not all. Gaming through Proton was surprisingly good, but still inconsistent for certain titles. Mint felt close. Very close. But I wasn't fully free from dual booting yet. Then I moved on to Zorin OS, which markets itself very aggressively toward Windows users. Its interface modes even let you mimic different versions of Windows. The polish is undeniable. The installer is clean. The animations are smooth. It feels modern in a way that some other distributions don't. I genuinely enjoyed using it. It handled everyday tasks beautifully. The software center was approachable. For someone brand new to Linux, Zorin might be less intimidating than almost anything else. But I ran into a different issue. Under the surface, I wanted more control than it comfortably exposed. It felt curated, which is good for beginners, but slightly restrictive for power users. And when I started customizing deeper layers, I realized I was essentially working with the same underlying components as other Ubuntu-based systems, just with a prettier front end. Next came Kubuntu with the KDE Plasma desktop. Now this was interesting. Plasma is unbelievably customizable. You can make it look exactly like Windows 10, almost indistinguishable at a glance. You can adjust panel height, icon spacing, transparency, blur effects, window behavior, virtual desktops, shortcuts, themes. It's like Windows if Microsoft allowed you to rewire the entire interface. At first it felt overwhelming. So many options. So many toggles. But then something clicked. KDE wasn't trying to lock me into a single Windows-like preset. It was giving me the building blocks to design my own workflow. Performance was excellent. Memory usage was surprisingly low. Multitasking felt fast. Still, there were occasional rough edges. Certain settings, panels, felt slightly inconsistent. Some themes broke in small ways after updates. Nothing catastrophic, but enough to remind me I wasn't on a monolithic corporate OS backed by billions of dollars. Then I tried Elementary OS, even though it doesn't advertise itself as Windows-like. I was curious. And immediately, I understood that visual familiarity alone isn't enough. Elementary is closer to Mac OS in philosophy. Minimal, opinionated, clean. But as a Windows user, it felt alien. Beautiful, but alien. It taught me something important. My goal wasn't just to leave Windows. It was to replace Windows without fighting my muscle memory every single day. After that came Pop_OS. Again, not explicitly Windows-like, but popular among switchers. It's powerful, especially for developers and gamers. The tiling features are fantastic once you understand them. But the default GNOME layout didn't feel like home. Extensions helped. Customization helped. But I kept thinking, if I have to install multiple extensions just to make it behave the way I want, maybe there's a better base fit elsewhere. I even tested more niche options. Linux Lite. Very straightforward. Lightweight. Practical. It felt stable but slightly dated visually. Nothing wrong with it. But it didn't feel like a full Windows replacement for someone used to a modern UI. I tried deep customization on XFCE-based systems. They worked well performance-wise, especially on older hardware. But the visual polish required effort. I don't mind tweaking, but I also value a strong out-of-orthodox experience. At one point, I realized something surprising. The distros that tried hardest to look exactly like Windows sometimes felt less authentic. When I saw a near-perfect Windows 11 clone on Linux, my brain expected identical behavior. But small differences in window snapping, system dialogues, or settings, organization stood out more, because the visual mimicry set certain expectations. In contrast, environments that were clearly inspired by Windows, but not clones, felt more honest. I also paid close attention to updates. One of my biggest frustrations with Windows has been forced restarts and unpredictable update timing. On Linux, updates were refreshingly transparent. I could choose when to install them. I could see exactly what was being updated. Kernel updates didn't secretly reboot my system at the worst possible time. That alone felt liberating. But stability varied slightly between distributions. Some were rock solid across weeks of heavy use. Others had minor hiccups after large upgrades. Gaming was a major factor in my experiment. With Proton and Steam's compatibility layers improving every year, Linux gaming has become genuinely viable. On some distros, games ran flawlessly. On others, I had to tinker with drivers. NVIDIA drivers especially required attention. Some distributions made driver installation seamless. Others required manual steps. That friction mattered. Hardware compatibility also played a role. Wi-Fi adapters, Bluetooth devices, printers, external monitors. Most worked out of the box on mainstream distros. But occasionally, sleep behavior or display scaling required tweaks. KDE Plasma handled fractional scaling better than some others. That was important on my high-resolution monitor. Then there's performance. On identical hardware, most of these distributions felt snappier than Windows 11. Boot times were shorter. Idle RAM usage was lower. Background processes were fewer. The system felt lighter. Not in a gimmicky way, but in a tangible, everyday responsiveness way. Opening the file manager felt instant. Switching workspaces felt fluid. And I began to notice something unexpected. I wasn't missing Windows as much as I thought I would. But I still hadn't fully committed. I was still dual booting. Still telling myself that if something critical broke, Windows was there as backup. And that's when I decided to narrow it down. I went back to the three that felt strongest overall. Linux Mint, Zorin OS, and Kubuntu with KDE Plasma. I installed each one for a longer trial period, 2 weeks each. Real projects. Real deadlines. Mint remained incredibly reliable. It never surprised me. It never broke. It just worked. But its update cadence and older base packages sometimes meant slightly outdated software, unless I added PPAs or external repositories. Not a huge problem, but noticeable. Zorin OS remained elegant and user-friendly. It felt like the smoothest transition for someone coming directly from Windows 11. But I kept feeling like I was operating within a curated garden rather than a flexible system I fully controlled. Kubuntu, though, kept pulling me back. KDE Plasma had matured more than I expected. The stability was better than older stories suggested. The customization wasn't just cosmetic. I could redefine keyboard shortcuts globally. I could tweak window rules. I could set per application behaviors. I could design panels that matched my workflow exactly. It didn't try to be Windows. It let me build my own version of it. The moment of truth came when I removed the Windows partition entirely. No safety net. Just Linux. And that distro was Kubuntu with KDE Plasma. Not because it looked exactly like Windows. Not because it perfectly replicated every feature. But because it respected my habits while allowing growth beyond them. What ultimately replaced Windows for me wasn't visual similarity. It was control, transparency, performance, predictability, the ability to update on my terms, the absence of intrusive ads, the lack of forced account integrations, the quiet confidence that my system wasn't phoning home constantly. Over months of use, I noticed my workflow evolving. I started using virtual desktops more intentionally. I relied more on keyboard shortcuts. I discovered powerful built-in utilities I never had on Windows. I customized my environment to such a degree that going back to Windows felt restrictive. Ironically, the distro that replaced Windows wasn't the one trying hardest to imitate it. It was the one that gave me the tools to recreate the parts I liked and discard the parts I didn't. That doesn't mean the other distributions failed. Linux Mint is fantastic for stability and simplicity. Zorin OS is excellent for new users who want minimal friction. Linux Lite is great for older hardware. Pop_OS is powerful for developers and creators. But for me, only one struck the balance between familiarity and freedom. If you're considering switching, here's the real lesson from my experiment. Don't chase visual clones. Don't assume that the most Windows-looking distro will feel most comfortable. Instead, look for workflow compatibility. Test how it handles your actual tasks. Install your real software. Connect your real peripherals. Play your real games. And understand this: the first week will feel different. Not worse. Different. Muscle memory takes time to adapt. But once you cross that adaptation curve, you might realize something profound. Windows wasn't irreplaceable. It was just familiar. Trying every Windows-like Linux distro taught me more than I expected. It showed me that the Linux ecosystem isn't about copying Windows. It's about offering choice. Some distributions prioritize stability. Some prioritize aesthetics. Some prioritize cutting-edge software. Some prioritize simplicity. And within that spectrum, there's likely one that fits you better than Windows ever did. For me, that one was Kubuntu, with KDE Plasma. It didn't just replace Windows, it outgrew it in my daily life. And once that happened, there was no going back.